All right, welcome back to Suburban Home Studios, aka my basement. My name is Jesus Hernandez. Don't call me Jesus. Today we're mixing a few songs by a band called Suck. And this is a like post-punky, no-wave, noisy, avant-garde type band from New York. And unlike most of my projects, I did not record this one. This was recorded at Dubway Studios in New York and sent to me to be mixed by a friend of mine who's going to be putting this out on his label. Him and I were in a band many years ago with two of the members of this band, so I know pretty well what it is that they like and what they're going for, which is a little bit more of a raw, natural sound, but they still want to hear everything and want it to be clear and sound good. They did send me a few mix notes. So here is a note about some fade outs and fade back ins. I'm going to have to ask them about that, but it sounds like they want something to fade out and fade in on one side of the tape and then into the other. Juan BF, a track with 3 different vocals, so they just want to make sure they got all 3 vocals stacked in there. Bass guitar was ran in DI because they were having difficulty with running in the amp, so the bass can go through something to warm it up with a little bit of overdrive. If the bass player is who I think it is, every time I would record their bass, they would physically run into the amp or the mic. So that's funny, and I can see that happening with this situation as well. Obviously, sax needs to be on top. Think Brain Bombs, think Flipper, think Coltrane. Those are not 3 artists I would put together. Maybe Brain Bombs and Flipper. I don't see how Coltrane quite fits into this, but I'm going to give them a listen, take some notes on what it is that I'm hearing, and use that for inspiration and kind of like a guideline for these mixes. All right, I am back after listening to Brain Bombs. I want to throw up and take a shower, and yeah, don't listen to Brain Bombs if you have a choice. As far as the sonic quality of a Brain Bombs recording, you have very thin vocals, high pass like all the way up, some crunchy distortion on those vocals. Guitars are real heavy in the mid-range. There's not a lot of attack or definition. It sounds like they just kind of mic'd them up badly and like cranked it so you could hear it. Drums also have no attack, real heavy in the low mids. Sounds like they have a gratuitous amount of compression, so you've got some pumping whenever the shells hit, so the cymbals go like down and then get louder. Like if the kick and snare are hitting at the same time as a crash, it's like or whatever. That's a cool sound. I like that. I'll probably use that. I can't hear the bass on any of these tracks, but on Flipper, you can hear the bass. It sounds fuzzy and flubby and kind of crappy, like they mic'd up a crappy bass amp and recorded it to tape. So I guess I'll use that, as a guide, give them a little bit of a natural live sounding bass tone. Drums also, not a lot of attack, not a lot of definition, not quite as heavily compressed, not really pumping like in the Brain Bomb stuff. We'll see what works with this band. The guitars, again, not really heavily defined, not a ton of attack, very heavy on the mids. Sometimes their guitars are pretty scratchy, similarly to the Brain Bombs vocals, like no low end and like really crunchy sounding. The Flipper vocals, however, are heavily compressed. They're not very scooped or, cut in the low end or anything like that. Just like really squashed and have a little bit of slapback. Flipper also does have sax, which is real nasally, I guess, for it to cut over the rest of the band, because these are some very dense arrangements, if you will. And it's also very heavily affected by phasers and reverbs and delays and whatnot. And then I listened to Coltrane, and I don't see how Coltrane really fits into this mess, but we'll figure that out together. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just start building up my session from scratch. All right, so obviously the first thing you have to do is decide what song you're working on, and I think Raging Warrior is a cool title. It better be a cool song with a title like Raging Warrior, right? So we're going to call this song, or we're going to call this project Raging Warrior, saving it into a folder called Raging Warrior. This is basically just my streaming template, which has nothing on it but my talkback. But yeah. So we're gonna open up this here folder of all the tracks that they sent. We are going to drag and drop. Same time position on separate tracks so that they all line up together. Could not import 28 of 56 items. That's like half of the items. What's going on? Okay, it looks like half of these are actually duplicates, and they have no length of time and no information in them whatsoever. So I'm not gonna worry about that. It seems like that was just a fluke. So we've got all their tracks here, and let's put them in the order that I like to have them in, so that I can kind of get organized and work faster. So kick in, kick out, snare top, snare bottom, floor tom, rack tom, overhead left and right. We'll see what they mean by overhead left and right. It could be audience perspective, which is like you're looking at the drummer. You got the hi-hat on your right and floor tom on your left. Or it could be drummer perspective, which is floor tom on your right, hi-hat on your left. I like to mix audience perspective in case they're going to be syncing this with some kind of video. You want things to correspond to where you see them, because imagine having a guitar solo coming out of this side of the speakers, and then the guitar solo is playing it on that side of the screen. That's weird, you know. Mono kit, I guess that's drums. Guitar, okay, guitar DI, guitar 2 DI, guitar dynamic, guitar ribbon. I'm guessing these are all the same guitar, just different recordings, different mics in a DI. And then guitar 2 DI, dynamic ribbon, bunch of lead Vokes. Let's go. Voke SM7. I don't really need to know what microphone you used. Voke SM7 duplicate. I don't know if it's an actual duplicate of the track or if it's doubled or what, but I guess let's go Voke 2 SM7, and let's relabel this one Voke 1 SM7. Voke 1 Spudnik. I don't know what a Spudnik is. I've never heard of it before. Sounds cool. And then this is a duplicate, so we'll go Voke 2 Spud. And then Voke 1 U87. It seems like they just kind of like went a little ham on the mics here. They just got like as much as they could possibly get just in case something would work, and there was not a lot of intentionality with mic placement or anything like that. So they just kind of like were, you know, like we'll throw all these things up. One of them's got to work. Voke 2 U87, which I guess in the studio, in like a commercial studio, they do that. Sax 1. Because, you know, they're pressed for time and they just want to make sure they get something that works. Sax 2, we'll call it FX, and then you've got scratch. Oops. We got scratch Vokes. We'll go Voke, single Voke. We'll put these guys all together here. And then let me label the rest of these tracks. I don't need like all these like 0.02 and all that kind of stuff. I'm not sure. Why is my bass in the middle of my drum tracks? I'm not sure why they label it like that. I like my stuff to be labeled as simply as possible so that I don't have to think, but I ain't no Chris Lord Algae. I don't have people paying $1 bajillion for my stuff to be labeled by somebody else for for me in the way I like it. I got to do it myself. Let's actually label this guitar 1. Guitar 1 dynamic. They probably used an SM57. Guitar 1 ribbon. They probably used like a Royer. I don't know. I don't have that kind of money. Guitar 2 dynamic. And just because they sent me all these different tracks of guitar and vocal doesn't mean that I have to use every single one of these mics. I will most likely end up using one depending on the song or the part of the song. So just drop the volume on every single track so that I can not have a bunch of stuff blasting at me at the same time, and I can put things in one at a time and hear what I'm actually doing. Right now, I'm routing stuff as well to sends. Saxes? Is that multiple saxes? Is it ES or just XS? I don't know. But yeah, I'm routing these things, these drums, all to a drums send, removing them from the master send, so they have to be played through the drum send to get to the master send, and I could just mute them all together with just one button. Let's color code everything as well, just so that I can work a little faster. Drums are always green in my book. Bass is always purple for me. These guitars, let me send them to that guitar send. Remove them from the master send. Guitars are, Guitars are always red for me. Vocals can be blue for this one. I like to change up the color of the vocals. And let's get these saxes into this send here. Make them gold, yellow, whatever. And take them out of the master send. So now we've got everything labeled and put in order the way I like to see it, and color-coded in a way that I can quickly find whatever it is that I'm looking for. I guess the next thing I'm going to do is save my work right here. Raging Warrior. Okay. And let's start getting a balance. I'll be listening for issues with like phase and just stuff that sounds like crap. And I'm just going to build a drum balance, which typically kick in, kick out, snare top and bottom, and overheads. Those are things you need to invert polarity on. I'm just going to do that right away. And might as well start off panning stuff a little bit. We'll get the rack tom 50% right, floor tom 50% left, just ballpark. And we'll start building up the mix here. Bring in the overheads. All right, so if you're listening to this with headphones on, especially, and probably with monitors, you'll hear like the two overheads are like kind of pulling your ears in different directions pretty hard, which is typically an indicator of phase issues. So let's just pop these polarity buttons. That's almost worse. It's like the center gets tighter, but then like it pulls your head apart even more. I'm gonna listen to each one of them individually. Sounds fine. Sounds fine. But the overhead left sounds very roomy. The overhead right sounds very direct. It sounds like the overhead left was much farther away and the overhead right was very close, which is strange. Typically, when you stereo mic a drum set, you make sure that it's equidistant from the kick or the snare so that, you know, your stereo image is balanced. But it could also be that maybe they had like a fancy large diaphragm condenser that they didn't know where the front of it was, and they put the mics on top of the drum set, and one of them was just facing away instead of facing down at the drums. Or maybe they had repaired that mic and they put the capsule in backwards. I don't know. We'll make it work. We'll figure it out. Kick. Is extremely compressed. Like they got all the life out of that thing, but I guess we'll have to make it work. So with the polarity inverted on the kick out, it kind of collapses the sound a little bit. When you have it not inverted, it seems to bulk up a little bit, which means that these kick mics are probably already phase aligned, which they absolutely are. This kick in mic should actually begin instead of down like that and then going up, should actually be the other way around. So I'm just going to flip that, and I'll explain why I'm doing that later. It's not really important right now, at least it's not. All right, let's get some snare. I don't love that snare sound. There's not like a ton of attack. It's like really wong, wong, wong. But we'll deal. And then add snare bottom. Same thing as with the kick. It sounds like when you invert polarity on the snare bottom, collapses the snare sound, which would mean that the snare top and bottom are already phase aligned for me, and I would be correct. But again, you see with the snare, the transient should actually begin down instead of up, so this is also backwards. I'm not sure what was going on. They got their cables wired strangely, but I'll explain all that some other time. It sounds so much better with the overheads too. Yeah, so I don't really love it when people flip the phase on stuff and then send it to me to mix. It's confusing. And I don't think I can lean on this snare bottom mic very heavily. Let's get some toms in here. Oh. Sounds like toms. It's actually the best sounding thing on the drum set so far. sounds like the floor tom needs to come up, and that rack tom needs to come down, and that's not unusual, even if they're the same level, just what you can hear, you know. Yeah, I guess this could come down a bit. That might have been a little bit drastic. Let's do like this. All right, sounds like a drum set. Let's see what we got going on with these rooms. Yeah, I guess they're room mics. They don't give me the things that I want out of a room mic. I don't have to use them. Let's see what this mono kit is. Sounds like it's going to be phasey. Maybe I'll use that for like an effect or a certain part. So, drums are in, all right? Let's get some bass going. I'm going to bring up the bass just a little more. You want to be able to have it as low as you can have it and still hear all the parts. I'm going to drop the level of these overheads and these toms a bit. All right, so far so good. And then we've got all these guitar tracks. You know what? I'm not even going to use these guitar DIs. I would not use a guitar DI if I have the option of 2 different mics already for these guitars. So let's see what sounds best for this song. Let's mute the drums and the bass. Just get these guitars all kind of the same level. Sounds like Guitar 2's got like a ton more low end than the Guitar 1. Let's keep leveling these guys out. Now I'm just gonna level out these ribbons with this. let's see. If I listen to just this guitar one dynamic, just the guitar one dynamic. And then just guitar one ribbon. The dynamic kind of does it for me, so I'm going to mute this ribbon. What about guitar 2? I'm going to go guitar 1 ribbon, guitar 2 dynamic. That sounds pretty good to me. I'm going to boost the guitar 2 dynamic a bit as well. All right, so let's bring a little attack out of this here kick. Just a little attack on the kick. And now we got to level out this snare top a little bit. And there's a little doo 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 kind of sound going on with the snare, and kind of want to get rid of that as well. just cut out a little low end so I can bring up the overall level of it. Seems to be averaging at about -6 dB. So let's set our threshold to -6, ceiling at -6, and then we'll just kind of pull it down a little bit till it sounds more even. We'll add a little bit more top end on the snare. And a little bit more low end thump. And there's still some kind of mid-range kind of stuff going on, so maybe I'll try to pull that out. And then let's get these overheads to pump a bit. Go real fast attack. And moderately slow release. And we will slam these guys at a 10-to-1. We'll try that on the other overhead to make adjustments as needed. The closer overhead's not pumping quite as nicely as the other one. Let's add a little makeup gain to these as well. And there's some cool stuff going on with the bell of the ride up top. Clean up some mud. And then let's move on to this overhead. Might have over made up some gain on these. Alright, let's get this bass sounding like it's coming out of an amp for real. This is like a free thing. I don't know much about it. Or when I downloaded it, don't know why. But we'll use this to make it sound like it's coming from an amp over here. It's a little too much distortion. I kind of just want it to distort when the pick hits a little bit. that kind of does it for me for the bass sound here. So let's grab a little EQ over here, and let's boost some mids, get this bass to stick out a bit more. I'm liking the way that bass sounds. All right. So the next thing that I'm going to want to do is get these vocals in. I'm going to work on drum vibe at the end once I kind of have all the songs ready to go. These vocals are all very low. I'm just gonna mute that scratch vocal. Well, let's normalize these all to -6 dB because I had that one at 0 and heard nothing.
Malevolent mother, death dealing and all wise crone, rising again, the beginning of straight system, within her dark room, radiant moon and fiery sun. She is all, and I am weak, and nothing to it all. Malevolent mother, death dealing and all wise, rising again, the beginning of straight.
Alright, I'm liking the U87 right now for this, so we'll do some EQ.
Malevolent mother, death dealing and all wise crone.
And this is definitely much closer to the sound of a flipper tune, so we'll go straight into compressor.
Malevolent mother, death dealing and all wise crone. Rising again, the beginning of straight is now, within her dark room. Radiant moon and fiery sun. She is all, and I am weak, and nothing to it all. Malevolent mother, death dealing and all wise crone. Rising again, the beginning of straight is now, within her dark room. Radiant moon and fiery sun. She is all, and I am weak, and nothing to it all. Malevolent mother, death dealing and all wise crone. Rising again, the beginning of straight is now, within her dark room. Radiant moon and fiery sun. She is all, and I am weak, and nothing to it all. Malevolent mother, death dealing and all wise crone. Rising again, the beginning of straight is now, within her dark room. Radiant moon and fiery sun, malevolent mother, death-dealing and all-wise crone. Rising again, the beginning awaits us now, within her dark room. Radiant moon and fiery sun, she is all, and I am weak, and nothing to it all. Biology is not destiny, but it's like the sea, the secret image of a wish, the secret image of a wish.
So we can probably throw verb on this vocal. I'm just gonna go throw it straight on the track. Why not?
Malevolent mother, death-dealing, rising again, the beginning awaits us now, within her dark room. Radiant moon and fiery sun, she is all, and I am weak, and nothing to it all. Biology is not destiny, but it's like the sea, the secret image of a wish, the secret image of a wish. Malevolent mother, death-dealing and all-wise crone. Rising again, the beginning awaits us now, within her dark room. Radiant moon and fiery sun, she is all, and
then we'll throw a compressor over that, just to kind of level out, bring out that verb a little bit.
malevolent mother, death-dealing and all-wise crone. Rising again, the beginning awaits us now, within her dark room. Radiant moon and fiery sun, she is all, and I am weak, and nothing to it all. Malevolent mother, death-dealing and all-wise crone. Rising again, the beginning awaits us now, within her dark room. Radiant moon and fiery sun, she is all, and I am weak, and nothing to it all.
I'll still lay the reverb a little bit.
Malevolent mother, death-dealing and all-wise crone. Rising again, the beginning awaits us now, within her dark room. Radiant moon and fiery sun, she is all, and I am weak, and nothing to it all. Malevolent mother, death-dealing and all-wise crone. Rising again, the beginning awaits us now, within her dark room.
And then we're going to pull out some of whatever's kind of peaking because of the reverb here.
Malevolent mother, death-dealing and all-wise crone. Rising again, the beginning awaits us now, within her dark room. Radiant moon and fiery sun, she is all, and I am weak, and nothing to it all.
And let's see if I can make a little space with these guitars. Bring up something to give them more, have them take up more space so you could make them quieter.
Malevolent mother, death-dealing and all-wise crone. Rising again, the beginning awaits us now, within her dark room. Radiant moon and fiery sun, she is all, and I am weak, and nothing to it all. Biology is not destiny, but it's like the sea, the secret image of a wish, the secret image of a wish. Raging warrior, malevolent mother, death-dealing and all-wise crone. Rising again, again. The beginningless waits us now within her dark room. Radiant moon and fiery sun. She is all, and I am weak and nothing to it all. Biology is not destiny, but it's like the sea. The secret image of a wish. The secret image of a wish.
Let's bring up a little bit of attack and sub on this floor tom here. I feel like I could use a little more in my faceness about it.
Jump wish. Jump wish. Jump wish. Jump wish. Jump wish. Jump wish.
A little bass on the rack tom as well.
Jump wish. Jump wish. Jump wish.
Maybe less treble on this floor tom actually.
Jump wish. Jump wish. Jump wish.
That's probably good. Then we'll just drop them a dB, keep them balanced.
Jump wish. Raging warrior, malevolent mother, death dealing and all wise grown. Rising.
Roll back a little, move the bass on this snare.
Jump wish.
And maybe pull it up a little more.
Jump wish. Raging warrior, malevolent mother, death dealing and all wise grown. Rising again, the beginning awaits us now within her dark room. Jump wish.
Maybe I could use a little snare bottom.
Jump wish. Raging warrior, malevolent mother, death dealing and all wise grown. Rising again, the beginning awaits us now within her dark.
Alright, and then it looks like these other vocals alternate here. Let's see what's going on. Which mic we're going to use. Alright, it's a very different vocal texture. Let's actually EQ that one going in to the compressor. let's go with like a delay.
Raging warrior, the left.
Still a little harsh for my liking here. Raging warrior, malevolent mother, death dealing and all wise grown. Rising again, the beginning awaits us now within her dark room. Biology is not. You know what? Let's bring back some low end on the snare.
Raging warrior, malevolent mother, death dealing and all wise grown. Rising again, the beginning awaits us now within her dark room.
All right, let's save this real quick. Let's see what we could do with these sax booms here.
Feeling an all-wise grown. Rising again, the beginning awaits us now within the dark room. Radiant moon and fiery sun, she is all.
Let's get rid of these vocals so that I can focus on the sax. crank the treble on the effect so that it really sticks out. And then I'm going to compress the two of them together so that when the main sax stops playing, the effect comes up. Bring these guitars up a little bit in the bus. You know what? This rack tom does need more treble. So does this floor tom. In reality. But it also needs more low end on this floor tom as well. Maybe a higher frequency. Let's just slice out a little bit of low end on that sax. And with that, I think I gotta drop the makeup game.
Raging warrior, malevolent mother, death dealing in all life's grown. Rising again, the beginning awaits us now within her dark room.
Need less of that snare bottom right here. Maybe a little bit more stair top.
The secret image of the wish. Raging warrior, malevolent lover.
Maybe a tad bit less overhead.
The secret image of the wish. Raging warrior, malevolent lover, death dealing in all lives grown. Death dealing now within her guard room. Now within her guard room. Biology is not destiny. Now within her guard room. Biology is not destiny. Now within her guard room. Biology is now within her guard room. Biology is not destiny. Now within her guard room. Biology is now within her guard room. Biology is not now within her guard room.
Cool. Well, I think I'm done with this one for now. Save project as. Then I'm gonna make this into a template, load it up for the next song.